The last bill that came before President Clinton was that bankruptcy bill that was passed by the House and the Senate in 2000, and he vetoed it. And in her autobiography, Mrs. Clinton took credit for that veto, and she rightly should. She turned around a whole administration on the subject of bankruptcy. She got it.
And then?
One of the first bills that came up after she was Senator Clinton was the bankruptcy bill. This is a bill that's like a vampire. It will not die, right? There's a lot of money behind it. And
the bill her husband had vetoed.
Her husband had vetoed it very much at her urging.
And?
She voted in favor of it.
Why?
As Senator Clinton, the pressures are very different. It's a well-financed industry. You know, a lot of people don't realize that the industry that gave the most money to Washington over the past few years was not the oil industry, was not pharmaceuticals. It was consumer credit products. Those are the people, the credit card companies have been giving money, and they have influence.
And Mrs. Clinton was one of them, as senator. Yeah.
She has taken money from the groups, and more to the point, she worries about them as a constituency.
So what does this mean, though, to these people, these millions of people out there whom the politicians cavort in front of as favoring the middle class and then are beholden to the powerful interests that undermine the middle class? What does it say about politics today?
You know, this is the scary part about democracy today. We're talking again about the impact of money. The credit industry on this bankruptcy bill has spent tens of millions of dollars lobbying, and as their profits grow, they just throw more into lobbying for how they can get laws that will make it easier and easier and easier to drain money out of the pockets of middle-class families.
I'm ready. I am ready to get in this fight and work my heart out for Hillary Clinton to become the next president of the United States.
The pressures are very different.
I thought that the primary was really important, and it was an opportunity for Democrats to get out there and show this is what it means to be a Democrat.
She has taken money from the groups, and more to the point, she worries about them as a constituency.
We got out there and pushed those issues forward, and we made sure that the American people saw the kind of thinking we have, the kind of energy we have, and what makes us very different from those guys on the other side.
The ruling by the chair is not debatable. It cannot be challenged, and I move that I announce that the rules have passed by the body.
She voted in favor of it.
She voted in favor of it.
What Bernie Sanders did was just powerfully important. He ran a campaign from the heart, and he ran a campaign where he took these issues and he really thrust them into the spotlight.
No one in this country should work full-time and still live in poverty. And that's what raising the minimum wage is all about. And why is this a women and families issue? Well, because more than half of those who would be affected if we raise the minimum wage are women. And more to the point, if we raise the minimum wage, that would raise living standards for 14 million children in America. Think about that. 14 million children who live with parents who are so close to the poverty line that just getting a boost in the minimum wage would give those children a stronger start in life, a little more economic security. But I want to drive home for everybody here, if I can. These kinds of policies really matter. We throw around lots of numbers, 14 million children. I want to tell you about just one of those children, me. I lived in a family that had a lot of economic ups and downs. And when I was 12 years old, my daddy was out of work for a really extended period of time. My mom was a stay-at-home mom, and our world just started falling apart. We lost the family car, and we came that close to losing our home. I still remember the day that I walked into my parents' bedroom and my mother was pulling on her best black dress and fighting to get the zipper up and crying the whole time. And she kept talking. I don't know if she was talking to me or talking to herself, but she kept saying, "We will not lose this house. We will not lose this house." And she blew her nose, she put on her lipstick, pulled on her high heels, and she walked to the Sears, and she got a minimum wage job at Sears Roebuck. That minimum wage job saved our house, but more to the point, it saved our family. I was blessed to grow up in an America where a minimum wage job would keep a family of 3 afloat. Today in America, a minimum wage job will not support a mama and a baby and keep them out of poverty. So every time we talk about these policies, we have to remember there are real people who are touched by this, not in small ways, but in big ways. Someone in America fought for a higher minimum wage long before I was born, and I was the beneficiary of it. I stand here today in part because I grew up in an America that said there will be opportunities for more of our children.